So I wanted to do a review on my new tripods, as well as kind of talk overall about the phone style monopods and give a little insight for anybody that's looking to pick one of these up and kind of seeing, oh, there's so many of them. How do I make this decision? So first off, let's go over these two. I really like the design of this one over this one, but this one has the height that I need for doing some of my lights. I like to have that height. Thicker poles, so that's one of the reasons I got these two. You can see the first shaft already starts off really big compared to some of these. And this one mainly for that pivot. You just twist it and you can pivot, 360 around. So that's a big deal. I'll show you on my other one I use all the time. So these happen to be the same one. I didn't know, I didn't pay attention, but they're the same one, just different colors. But you can see you can do vertical versus horizontal by just twisting this knob versus some of the other ones where you actually have to turn this piece. So you got to put it like this or like this to get it to work. So that's some of the big differences. Now the construction is, they're both, I mean, this is aluminum and some plastic. I mean, it does have a few plastic parts in it. This one's a little bulkier. It makes a little bit more noise. But again, this is going to be for a light, and I needed it to be able to, stand as a light stand and have a little bit heavier of a light without having to use my professional tripod. Now, as far as all of them in general, just comparing, if you're looking at this and you're like, oh, this is too much, it's overwhelming. I'm not a professional, but I do make content and get paid for it. So all these I bought with my money, except for the exception of one of these was a gift, and I can't remember which one. But I bought all these, and you can see they're exactly the same. I just brought it out because this one doesn't have a Bluetooth. This one does have the Bluetooth. I just want to show it with and without a mount. But as far as these go, if you're looking for one that does pretty much everything that is still an on-the-go kind of monopod phone mount, it's going to be this one. Because once you get a bigger camera or heavier lights, these will be obsolete. And this takes 3 times. I could set up 3 or 4 of these with lights and a camera in the time I can set up one of these. Now there is a place for this. And then look, I'm missing the mount thing. So that little dot's gone. I can't even put anything else on it. So that makes it, even more difficult. But there is a place for these kind of mounts, these professional mounts, especially like if you're playing golf on a hill or something. If you're on a hill, which this has happened to me, you're like this already. Once you extend that up to its 62-inch mark, there's nothing holding this down. So you got to end up putting a bag, a shoe, some other equipment case on this leg to keep it standing up versus your traditional professional tripod. Like you just extend these 2 legs up and you can get that angle right, and it's not going to fall over. So you don't have that, but it's super easy to find something to put on this leg and to be able to take it down and set up than this one. If I had this on the golf course, it would take like too much time. I'd have to keep letting people pass me up versus these. I went out with 2 of these and got all my shots by myself without interrupting the pace of play for everybody. Now, as far as like design wise, of course, these 2 are the best. They have the integrated Bluetooth to where it doesn't interrupt how you're holding this. It is a little heavier if you're doing it like a selfie stick and you want to do selfie mode, but more times than not, I've used this as the tripod mode to take a picture with the Bluetooth button versus using it as a selfie stick. So I hardly ever see the selfie stick mode. It's a lot easier to just set your camera like this, take the picture with the Bluetooth or even your watch, than to use it like that. So I think that's just a better way to do it. Now, something these are all missing, something that these all kind of miss the mark, and I guess because the money spent on the development of the actual product, is the phone holder. Now, I think that's a big miss by all these companies because like this one, all plastic, no rubber. Once you get your phone in here, it's very hard to get it out, and these are kind of sharp, so it ends up hurting your fingers over time. This one is a better improvement because you can squeeze it so you can get your phone in and out, but this hook isn't big enough. Now they're trying to catch a bunch of different size phones and things, but Joby did it right. So this was the one from my GorillaPod that I have on the top of here. And in Joby's mount, they have a lock, so you can lock it in whatever position you want. If you want to put it on your phone and lock it in place. I usually don't lock that though. I usually just leave it open, but that curve that they have, along with these little rubber fingers like that, just works. So this setup is the best by far that I've found works for individual phone usage. So if you're using a light, it doesn't matter. It just screws into the bottom. This one doesn't have a side screw, but this one you see at the bottom, and my other one has a double screw. But phone light doesn't really matter as long as you have that pivot to be able to do what you want, which is the reason this one is going to be one of my designated lights, because I just go up and down, because it doesn't matter which way it pivots. But these are my phone ones. These are going to be the ones that hold phones or cameras because of the robustness of the top, and the 360 pivot just makes it to where I can get all my shots way faster, and then of course close it up and leave where I'm shooting even faster, you know, than I set up. So that's a lot right there, but I just want to go over these two tripods, go over all of these. And again, I'm not a professional. I do a little bit of photography and content creation. This is what I've used throughout time. Going back, I wish I'd have had, you know, 5 of these versus all the different ones. But there is a place for all this, and professional people that do professional photography will probably say like, no, this is the one you should always have. But for on the go, being quick, gym photography, golf, action sports, this is my go-to. And that's the one that I highly recommend, which is this one. But again, it's great to have all these different tripods and methods of holding your phone and light. It just depends on which one works best for you. And for me, it's these.